So if you want to play a map that's not like anything you played before, but at the same time a little bit familiar, you might like this map. So imagine one of your favorite maps, Riverbend Springs, has gone through a natural disaster. I think we're standing in ground zero here. And it has gone through a natural disaster, and now, years later, it's trying to recover. That's the gist of this new map. So it has some familiarity if you played Riverbend Springs before and liked it. However, it's different. Let's go take a look around our farm. Okay, you're going to start the map here because this is your house. You're starting out kind of modest. You got a little single wide. You do have a nice truck, and you have a little side-by-side here to run around your farm, the Kubota. So that's pretty cool, in your little garage. All right, over here is this is where you live, and over here across the street is your farm. Let's take a look around. Okay, starting right here, you got a fuel tank that holds 250,000 liters of fuel, which is a lot. You have a lime tank right here that holds 275,000 liters of lime. And you have a dry fertilizer tank that holds 600,000. Everything's been expanded here. It's big. In fact, your silo is 20 million liters of stuff. Quite a bit. So it's made to expand. We'll look at your fields in a second. It's made to expand the map and move up into the big time, I guess. Okay, you have the K7150 harvester, which is a decent harvester. Everything's slightly dirty. It has a 7.5 meter header on it. You can upgrade that to 8.5 because it will take a 8.5. This is your biggest tractor. This was pretty big. Has 351 horsepower, and it's upgradable to like 435. So that's a nice, good-sized tractor. You got the Crampy trailer. Holds 37.5 cubic meters of stuff. Needs washing. You got a pretty nice fertilizer and lime spreader. Okay, right here you have a garage where you can work on your stuff. There's a button there. You have to actually pull it in here. So what I did for the harvester is I backed it in, and I was able to do maintenance on the harvester and the header by backing it in there. Kind of crazy. Okay, you got another tractor in here. This is a case that has 224 horsepower. It is upgradable to 302, which is pretty good. And over here you got, they must like case. You got a smaller case. This has 90 horsepower, upgradable to 117. And over here you got a fertilizer spreader, so you could use the other one for lime only if you wanted. And you have a nice shallow cultivator here. Okay, you need 190 horsepower to pull that, so 2 or 3 of your tractors could do that. Okay, you got the Lemkin seeder here. Does the trick. Not a big fan because you have to fertilize at the same time. You need 180 horsepower for that. And you have a decent size plow. You need 210 for that. Okay, over here on your farm, you got some bale storage. Holds 250 bales. I'm surprised they didn't bump that up to like 25,000 or something. Okay, you have a mushroom greenhouse and a large greenhouse, but they're not normal. I'll show you in a second. And you have this small grain mill. Well, it's not normal either. Let me show you your productions. Okay, look at your grain mill. It holds 1 million each of barley, long grain rice, oats, rice, sorghum, and wheat. And of course, it's going to make flour out of that. 1 million. So it's bigger than the regular grain mill, much less the smaller one. Your greenhouses are the same. Okay, they are 10 times the size of the regular one. Okay, so instead of 40,000 liters of water, it holds 400,000 liters of water. Hard to keep water in it. I have another video on an automatic way to water these things with a water distribution mod, which is pretty cool. Now, if you can do that and keep water in them, it actually takes 2 of those to keep this thing going because there's so much. The capacity is so much. But you're going to make a tremendous amount of money off of that. I did it for a while, then I actually turned them off because I got tired of being too rich. All right, let's look at your fields. Okay, you have 4 fields here. Some of them are ready to harvest there. 2 of them are ready to go. This one's plowed and that one's harvested, so it needs cultivating. Your other productions on the map, let's look at those. They're kind of like Riverbend Springs, but there's some differences. So you have a bakery, biogas plant, canning factory, carpentry, cement factory, cereal factory, cooper, dairy, grain mill, oil mill, paper factory, Oh, there is a piano shop, potato processing plant, rope maker, sawmill, spinnery, sugar mill, and a tailor shop. Okay, so it's similar to Riverbend Springs. I know they've added the potato processing. Okay, aerial shot of your farm. Now this is where the original Riverbend Springs farm is, but obviously it is not the same. And these are your fields right here, just like the field. The fields are the same in this area. Okay, in this area. But there's some differences on the map. Okay, one, you have a road that crosses here. The pier area looks pretty similar. Let's go over toward the shop. We'll look at a few differences over that way. Oh, by the way, they have a nice football field over here. There's your little private school. So Friday night you can go there for the games. Okay, we're going to drop down so you can see this a little better. Because this road is different. It's widened. And look at the bridge. The bridge is widened too compared to Riverbend Springs. The good news is I was able to get a pretty big harvester through there with the header to my farm without using a trailer. This area is similar, but it's moved around. The gas station was over here. It is now over here. Your shop is different. Some of this is borrowed from some other maps like Zalanka. So your stuff's going to show up here that you buy, and there's where you go to work on it. It's not over there anymore. Okay, there's your water tower. Your warehouse is over there. This is the Grain West silo, just like before. Okay, there's their cereal factory and the dairy. Over here you got the biogas plant, the animal shop, got the lumber company. There's your piano manufacturer. It is here. Okay, the map still has a train that runs around. You can see there. But look at these trees. You have the ability to do forestry, but a lot of trees are not here that were here before. So this looks like ground zero over here. Interesting. Very interesting. So in this area here behind your farm, you can actually take the bridge over here to get to this point of sale. And I like that the other bridge is wider. Okay, over here you got the general store. Got a nice look. Looks like a little flea market type area, store area, and another gas station. Over here you have the bakery. There's plenty of places to get water if you don't have a well. Okay, some areas that had some things before are now like gone. So what that does is create some opportunities for you, like this piece of land right here for $189. You could make a field on there, or you could put some productions on there, whatever you wanted to do. Okay, there's a sawmill down there. And there's your oil mill, your paper factories down there. And look over here, you have a ship that got stuck in the drink. Big cargo ship. That's interesting. I thought maybe there'd be some collectibles, but there's not any collectibles on the map. I was like, oh, I bet there's some collectibles there. And let me show you this. You have a constructible here. You can come here and build a log cabin. You do not own this. I bought it just to show you, but find out what it was. But you can purchase this little mountaintop here for $35,000. And then you got to bring your stuff up here to build your own little log cabin. This could be a nice vacation retreat up here with a good view from on top of this hill. That's pretty cool. Nice view of the sunken ship there. But that's pretty cool. Okay, we're back at our little house here. Let me show you something else on this map that I think is unique also. Okay, I wanted to show you this because most maps on Farming Simulator 25, when you go to nighttime, they're not very dark. But this one is dark. You get outside of the light, you need your flashlight. Okay? It is dark. Luckily, you have some lights around your farm, but I thought it was really cool that if you're trying to do stuff at night, you're going to need some lights. Okay, that's why your farm has these big overhead lights, because if you didn't, it would be dark. Okay, it would be dark out here. So the map, whatever they did to it, they've modified it, and it is darker than most maps. So it's kind of neat, especially considering it's supposed to be, after a disaster and all that. Maybe we have a nuclear winter or something that's making it dark. So that's cool. That's pretty cool. All right, that's all I got. That's the map. That's Riverbend Springs, the aftermath after some kind of natural disaster. You might like it, so check it out. I'm Farmer Teacher. Share this with your farming buddies and give me a thumbs up if you like it. And I'll see you in the next go-round. Bye-bye.